Hi, it's Micah. Today I wanted to go through the Muse Tarot Majors compared to the Pink Sky Weight deck by the Dark Forest. So it's a little abstract. For our Fool, we don't have a companion animal, but you can see the ladder down here. This would be like if you took the time to figure out like the smartest, safest path, it would be, that. But instead, she's just going straight out for it. There's the cliff she might fall off, or the cosmic waters. We also have the illuminated sun there, which is great. For the magician, I like that we still have the table. I'm assuming these represent the four elements, and she's projecting, manifesting from her mind and like pushing that forward with her hands. Artistically, it's not my favorite card in the deck, but it works. Oh, and another thing, this doesn't use the typical emotion. I mean, it uses like emotions, thoughts, and things like that instead of the traditional symbols. Like, so there's no wands, swords, cups, and pentacles, just so you know. That's one of the reasons why I want to break down this deck a little further. So for the High Priestess, you see we got the moon. She doesn't have the pillars, but she has like the cloth in the background. I like that she is illuminated in mind and like has like the dark sky behind her. And in the book it says that this is representing like the water and like the sands of time type of feel. And we got the runes in the background, so like that's cool. And she is like veiled a little bit. So I do like the take on this Empress card. Not traditional at all. Like we don't have the Venus symbology or the crown or throne, anything like that. We more so have like the idea of birth and creation. So I often say the Empress is like the queen of queens. So she embodies everything. All right. The Emperor. So this is, I think, a female only deck. The vibe that I get from this card is she's like the business owner, the fashion show runner, you know what I mean? Like it's like all these people are being led by her example. It also kind of reminds me of like music, right? Like she's like orchestrating it. She's the director. Everyone's kind of in her shadow, obeying her command, I guess. So I'm not a Pope girl, you know. And when I first looked at this card, I was like, I kind of wish it was the Hermit, right? And then I read the book and I cried a little bit. So we have these people coming to the larger figure for like guidance. They're like lighting the balloons, like Chinese lanterns, to pay tribute, to offer a gift, to ask for that advice. And in recovery, I was told, you know, um, spot the woman that you would want to be. Like the person that you're like, wow, I really look up to them. And make sure it's for the right reasons. And that's what they talk about in the book as well. You know what? I'm just going to I didn't know if I was going to read. I'm just going to do it. All right. So, keyword spiritual teacher, finding the guru within, failing or outdated systems, crumbling institutions or beliefs, newfound path, shiny and hollow things, a spiritual journey, institutionalized kindness. The tiny traveler has journeyed so far to be here in this place with this muse of perfection and light. When she finally arrives at the foot of this oracle, she hopes that her guru will see her and gift her a slice of wisdom as a result of her unwavering faith. Wanting to make sure she performs the ritual perfectly, she starts a small fire to warm her soul and begins to craft her devotional lantern, as most do when they arrive to this place. As she works, a voice floods her awareness. Sweet soul, thank you for visiting me. I ask you to look at the form in front of you. Are you worshiping me for the way I look? Or are you worshiping me for the way I act? Or do you worship the same? Aren't we the same, you and I? The muse winks and continues. And therein lies the secret, beautiful heart. I see you. I see your profound inner wisdom. And I see that now it's time to lead yourself in service. And service is a big thing in recovery too. I find that the book is kind of written in that first-person-y way, like the Terre de la Nuit. So yeah, you have to ask yourself, are you following someone or a crowd or whatever for the right reasons? You know, is it just because they're popular or pretty? You want to be vain in that way? Or is it like the person you want to become when you grow up, right? Um, so yeah, I actually love this card way more than I thought I was going to. So with the lovers, we still got like that mountain in the middle, and we got angel wings at the top, and the two people that are divided by that mountain, right? So it's not my favorite card, but I do like that they're not together yet, right? Like they're not in that new embrace. And if you pulled this card in a reading as like an obstacle or any reading in general, you can really like play off that, right? That there may be a spark, but there's still separation at this point, which is really interesting. And the whole hands and feet thing, all I can think of every time is it Egyptian? I think it is, but they say like the sun and the moon fell in love and they were divided by the sky, so they could only touch by the um, palms of their feet and hands. I don't know. I probably should have reread that story before this, but it's okay. All right, so the chariot, kind of like that she's not like restricted by a man-made vehicle, right? So it makes it feel more, I don't know, freeing, like more relatable, I guess. And that the horses naturally, I mean, they run in herds, but they might want to go in separate directions. And it's her mind. I think it's referring to her solar plexus, but she has to be determined enough to keep all her ducks in a row, to keep everything on the same path. And it's a really pretty card. Okay, strength. I didn't so much like the write-up on this one, but I like that she's not manhandling the lion. We got the infinity here, and they use a lot of like dash lines in this deck for implied connection or movement. But yeah, really cool. And I like the size difference. I like how big the lion is. Um, I don't know. I like it. All right, so here's our hermit. So I mean, I guess you don't really need a lantern when when you have the sun in the desert. But yeah, just taking that time, taking that walk by yourself. I used to do that a lot when I lived in the city. When I'd be super stressed out, I would just go for a walk by myself for hours, just on the trail. Really pretty. And I kind of like that she seems like dark, you know? Like even though everything's super bright, she's like quiet and solitude and like that darkness that we typically see in the Hermit card. All right. The Wheel of Fortune, it's just called the Wheel. We don't have any of the like zodiac symbolism in here that I've noticed. But yeah, I mean it's okay. I can't wear heels like that. I'd be like that. I'd be falling. But yeah. Yeah, it's all right. So for justice, like we don't have the sword. We do have like these vague scales in the background. Um, but this person is like walking on a path. There's two different doorways to meet her justice, I guess. And I do like how it's like cracked open because it's like that inner truth, right? Like you know when you did something wrong or right. It's that like inner knowing. If you really ask yourself, you know. So, the hangman, it's disappointing that her head's not illuminated. But I do like the lack of like bondage. I don't like to think of this card as like the like a punishment type of thing. And it says about taking that new perspective. So there's a bunch of obstacles in life. And when you're up here, you can see them from a higher vantage point and figure out like which path is the correct one. Like what's the meat of that problem and how are you going to fix it? I do like the bright colors in this card. It's kind of like inspiring, like, you know, a nice spring morning or summer morning to wake you up instead of, I don't know, being stuck in shadow. I love this death card. We don't have any of this going on, but it's beautiful. So, these figures both have closed eyes. I'm thinking one's like material self and one's maybe your subconscious. But that struggle that you have to go through in a death moment to be able to be released and freed. And like I say, after death comes temperance. So after you get out and everything's a little chaotic, now it's time to find the balance. So, yeah, this card never does it really for me, like an angel like with jugs, you know. But this is different. So so the earth, the moon, all the planets, they always have their own balance, right? Like it doesn't matter, like the moon phases are going to keep repeating. I like the hint of like illumination in the darkness, but you need like that darkness and the light to have proper balance. I think working with this card a little bit more, I'll gain more meaning, but that's the gist of it. Oh, I put the lovers back. I'll grab it. All right, so the devil, we do have like the devil character and simulated bondage. It's like the eye from Lord of the Rings, right? So, yeah, there's like a way out for these people, and they're kind of tethered, but loosely. Like it could just all be in their head, like they could get out. But yeah, I did want to compare it to the Lovers. So if you line these cards up, you can see like how like this mountain like connects and how the two figures are there. So yeah, I like when they connect like that. So any good thing can become a negative thing, right? If we go into that codependency level or abuse. Relationships are hard. Facts. All right. So the tower, we got the lightning and the crumbling, and that's about it. I was playing with this card the other day and like flipped it around, and then it from a distance it kind of gives that tower shape, and this figure, this rock here being struck and the figure flying off. But so all this is destroyed, and this person's standing on like one last solid chunk. Like the tower moment sucks, but you know, you're still alive and you're gonna have something to rebuild on, you know, like you still exist. There's still gonna be some things in your life to hold on to, whether that's like friends or family, or you still have a house or whatever. You still have your life, you know. So it's kind of choosing like, okay, do I be strong in this moment, or do I like fall into the self-pity aspect? And after, oh, I'm messing all things up. All right. After the tower comes the hope from the star. So this is like insinuating the water, I guess. This, I mean, yeah, she's holding a star, but this, I don't know. It feels kind of like sunnish to me. Like I wish the background was like a night sky or something. I don't know. Let me know what you think. It is what it is. And it's interesting that she has like the crown that you would normally relate to the Empress. It's okay. I love the limited color palette in this moon card. So, instead of the dogs, we got two people. And instead of the crayfish, we have a third figure here. So, we got the light and the dark path, like the typical pillars and the High Priestess card. And I think the High Priestess and the moon like are connected, right? I feel like that's her domain. So the moon is like the illusion and the mystery and intuition, and she is in control of her intuition and the mysteries and the secret, right? So these two figures are kind of like, I don't know, man. I don't know if I want to go down that path. Like I don't know if this is the right way. And this figure is kind of maybe listening, maybe not to them, but it's almost like she's looking at the moon as like, I'm going to take in this illumination and I'm going to figure it out. That's what I get. I do not love the sun card. I mean, I'm happy we don't have the baby, but like, bro, what is up with this? She has like, I don't know, spores coming out of her brain. Kind of freaks me out. Kind of freaks me out. I don't know what to do about this card. Let me know what you think. I mean, I understand like the growth, but I don't want stuff growing out my head. I just don't. So, judgment versus awakening instead of the angel and the dead people. It's like that inner calling, and I do like all this stardust and shooting stars. And like her head's like above the clouds, so it's like kind of like that out of body moment. And I love that she's holding like her heart and looking ahead and like illumination. So it's like, it's kind of like the Ace of Wands a little bit for me, right? But it's like Ace of Wands meets justice or something. Like you're feeling like divinely called to do something, whether that's for like moral reasons or like a life path thing, but it's like a big deal. I don't like this world card. I don't. It's okay, but so once again, we don't have the astrological symbols. She's just holding the world above her head. Well, kind of on her head. It's okay. It's all right. I mean, the water's really pretty. Yeah. Okay. This will continue. I will get to the minors, I promise. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.